Okay, so in today's short clip, what you're going to see is a snippet from our AM meeting. For those of you who aren't familiar, our AM meeting is divided into several sections. Right at the top, we give a big picture overview of what's going on in the market so we can understand the context of market behavior for the trades that we're looking at in individual stocks. And then after the market overview, we go into the section of fresh in-play news, kind of what SMB is known for, finding the best in-play stocks each day. And that's at the first section of individual stocks we talk about. If you want to learn more about our stock selection process, then check out the free 2-hour workshop by clicking on the link above, or going to tradingworkshop.com, where I spend 30 minutes giving you a deep dive into discussion of how to find the best stocks each day. And then after that part of the morning meeting, we move on to what we call second day and technical plays. And so that's today's clip. You're going to get a look at Grub, GRUB, Tesla, TSLA, and Beyond, BYND, and maybe a couple of other little things that I can't recall off the top of my head. But what's interesting about the second part of the morning meeting is we gather this information on the day one stocks with fresh catalysts. They move very quickly, so if you're a less experienced trader, sometimes those aren't the best stocks for you to trade or really put on a lot of risk as you're learning. But we cover in the latter part of our meeting the second day in technical plays because we have more information. We can talk about what happened on day one, and we can use levels that we gathered on day one in addition to the levels we had from the higher time frame. And there's some good information there as well. So I just wanted to share with you the short clip from the second part of the meeting. Hopefully you get something out of that. Quickly on BYND. I thought BYND played out exactly as we discussed in the morning meeting, so it was not too difficult to make money on it right on the open. We got a flush into 80, it bounced $8. You were able to at least capture that on the long side. Some people probably even shorted it. Once it kind of failed there and started to hold below 86, I guess, then it rolled over to below 82 at the end of the day. The way I'm looking at it is, and I know some people think this is going to go down another $10, $20. I said the same thing yesterday. People sold it in front of the lockup expiration. And so that has to be factored into it to a certain extent. Now, it's going to be very easy to judge. Like 82 is right where it closed yesterday. It's a little bit above there. You're going to see if people are selling it, it's going to flush below 82 pretty quickly on the open in the first 30 minutes. And then the second thing you're going to know is if it's going to be really weak, is it'll not only flush below 82, it won't take it that long, an hour or two, to be below $80. And then potentially it could trend from there. But if you don't see those things, very well could work its way back up. So, basically back up to where it broke down from here, coming into earnings right there. I want to do Tesla. I think Tesla's coming off because of the stuff coming out of China. The funny thing about Tesla is I had one of the down moves ahead of the earnings. I think was this move right here when NIO blew up in China. And then people realized the next 2 days, oh, wait a second, NIO sucks. They have negative margins. Tesla has actually really good margins. And it came right back. And I forget what the story was, but did this again. Then the earnings came out and they showed that, yeah, they are actually making money while everyone else is losing money. So the story that came out of China was just sales are slowing down electric vehicles. The companies are struggling there. And one of Tesla's big upsides potentially for 2020 is they've got the plant there. So that would naturally, people would be like, oh, if China's slowing down, that's going to hurt Tesla. The issue, but it's the same thing in the US. Well, the Jaguar comes out, the Audi comes out, they do no sales, and Tesla continues to do large sales. It's the same thing in China. China, they keep on buying their cars, not, they're crushing the competition. So from our standpoint, it's good that it's actually selling off on that news because it's not a real piece of news for them. And so hopefully, now that it's come off $25 in the last couple of days, it's getting down to spots. If you look at where it broke out from the other day, it got above 306, 307, and it went up $10 straight. It's coming into that area where it went up straight to. Could it come all the way back down into here? Sure. But then it would just set it up even better for a move back up to 320 to 330. So that's Tesla. Now, if we zoom in on the price action, just so we can understand, I think the easiest thing is, to look at it as this in terms of 317. It's in this downtrend. I tried a couple of times it couldn't hold above 320. What I'd be looking for as it's making lower highs is does something change, and does it have like some sort of drive like that, and then hold above 3, this area right here, and then I'd be looking for it to work its way back. I'd love for it to actually continue to pull off more, because I think the risk reward once you get below 310 starts to get really good again. Grub. I think this is a great example. I think a couple of people were shocked that by the size of the gap down that actually could continue to go. And it's like pretty much, I guess, the opposite of like a Tesla, although this would happen on day one and Tesla happened on day 2 to fall through, is if news is really bad enough or really good enough, things can continue to go despite very large gaps. So having said that, once it went a couple of ATRs below our 36 support, definitely was looking for a bounce. Wasn't on the desk when this reversal happened where it got back above 33. This was actually a really good bounce. So got back up to here. Probably best case was like here. That would have been a nice $2.50, but it went up $2, which is pretty good. What do intraday reversals look like? You get a breakdown below a low, and then you get a couple of green bars where it gets back above the prior low, and then you have your low. Probably people will probably use 33 at that point as support, this low here, and then you play it for a move back up to here, like this area here. And probably people stopped out when it reversed there, maybe even shorted it to see if it would come back down to 33. So looking at it, got a bunch of downgrades today. It's already bounced $1 and change. I think Aaron mentioned yesterday, between 30 and 32 was a good spot to look for a bigger picture bounce. So we'll see. I'm sure some people will try to short it into yesterday's low. If it gets there, the thing to be looking at is if it gets into yesterday's low, people short it there and it actually just doesn't pull back that much, that would be the sign that potentially a longer term bottom was in. But there should be some money on both sides on this one today, I would think. Yeah, and the other thing is if something has a big gap, and you just need to have a level to trade against. So it's the same thing in Twitter from the other day. If you have a level to trade against, we're trading intraday, right? You're making these trades intraday. You're not making this trade based on what it's going to do in the next 2 weeks when it might actually bounce back up to 38 to 40 or something, although it seems less likely now, but it wasn't an impossible thought yesterday. But if you have 36 as our second support and it flushes right on the open through, I talked about this the other day in the morning meeting. If something right on the open takes out all the support levels or all the resistance levels, then look for it to trend for the next couple hours after that. So in this case, it flushed through the 36 right on the open, got to 35. If it comes back up to 36 and fails, you know what your risk is here. So it spiked 20 cents above, your risk is about a quarter. And you know what your downside is, it's to the morning low. If it doesn't take out the morning low, you can start to cover it and have trail a stop. But in this case, it actually took out the morning low and then it kind of trended another $1. But that's $2 here with a 25 cents of risk for it set up for the next move. So just understand what the levels are and what you're thinking about it in advance, what it's going to look like and what you need to see. That's going to take care of those issues of it's gapping up big or it's gapping down big. Also, in terms of, it's getting late, but let me just make one last point. If something has really, really good news, like a Tesla did, and there was heavily people shorted it, or something has really, really bad news like this, and the analysts are all completely wrong, there's 8 downgrades today, those are not the ones you're looking for reversals. You're looking for generally follow through in those situations. The reversals are something like EXAS, where it's 85% year-over-year growth, and they guided down rev on 1%, but it's still 80+% growth, and it's 30% off the high. Those are the situations where you're more likely to look for a reversal. Now, you kind of already, to a certain extent, I guess, missed it. So maybe into this it'll be a short, but you have to factor in both of those things, and that's what we do differently. Right. Beyond yesterday had really good numbers. Obviously, the issue there is it's to a certain extent part of the overvalued IPO category, which I don't have time to get into right now. But the idea was they had really good numbers. It was 80 million was the revenue. They did 90. I don't think realistically they were going to beat it by more than that. So with a large gap down, you can look. People are going. So there's going to be some people looking for a bounce, and we got a quick $6 to $8 move right on the open. eventually the sellers won. But right on the open, because of those numbers and how much it had come off already, people were looking for that bounce, and you got a big bounce. So you have to be able to put both of those things together. That's what we do differently than most other people you're going to hear from in terms of just follow the price, just follow the price. You want to really create a mental image of like what's going on as well to understand likelihood of follow through, likelihood of reversals. It's going to make your trading a lot easier, and your bigger picture plays a lot easier. Close to the open, so good luck, be patient, and good luck.